Hey you guys, what's going on? It's Joby, and since I am home from work because of the snowpocalypse, I thought I would discuss a little bit this Patchbay from BPTA and how to use it for both amps with effects loops and amps without. I got a question the last time, or actually I should say I got a comment the last time I did a video about this Patchbay, where somebody said, that's great, but that won't work for me because I use multiple amp setups. Well, actually, this works very easy for multiple amp setups. Okay, so here is my pedal board, and typically I run this board in 4-cable method. The signal comes into my tuner, it goes out to this vocal pedal, which is probably going away, then it goes to this OCD, then to this big muff, then to this wah, and that goes to the front of the amp. The line 6 HX effects, as well as my Memory Man, which is in a loop, and my 360 looper, which comes after the HX effects, are going into the effects loop so that I can use the gain from my divided by 13 amp. Typically I play my Orange live. I have an Orange Thunderverb 50 which I play live, but this amp also has an effects loop, so this is going to work for this test. But let's just say I'm at a show and I'm playing my effects loop amp and I'm using the gain from the amp, and lo and behold, my amp takes a crap on me and doesn't work any longer. So what do I do? Well, I'm probably going to have to try to borrow an amp from somebody in one of the other bands. Let's say somebody offers me their 65 Super Reverb, and they're like, hey man, you can play through my 65 Super Reverb. And I'm like, that's great, but I run 4-cable methods, so I'm screwed, right? Well, no, not with this Patchbay. So what's going on right now is this is going to the send of my amp, this is going to the return of my amp, and this is going to the input on the front of the amp. So I am in 4-cable method, 1 cable coming in, 3 cables going out. So let's play that real quick and we'll hear what that sounds like. I've got a patch set up with a couple of delays just so you can hear basically how that sounds. Okay, so we've got our basic setup now. We are going into the divided by 13 using the effects loop in 4-cable method, and this is what it sounds like. Okay, cool. Now let's say my divided by 13 takes a dive on me. I've borrowed the 65 reverb, but this is set up for 4-cable method. What am I going to do now? We need to use the Fender. So how can we use this 4-cable method setup to run all of our effects into the front of an amp that does not have an effects loop? It's very simple actually. So if you remember, this was send, this was return, and this was out to the front of the amp. So all we have to do is take the output that went to the front of the amp, plug it into the send, and then plug the front of the amp into the return. That makes it so everything goes through the pedals that went to the front of the amp, and then through everything that was going to the effects loop is now going out to the front of the Fender. Alright you guys, so again, the OCD is literally only here because of this, in case of emergency. If I have to play through a clean amp like a Fender, instead of what I would normally use live, which is my Orange, I have an overdrive that I'm okay with. I will always prefer the sound of an overdriven amp to an overdrive pedal, but in case of emergency, this will get me through a gig. So now, the gain section of my board is going into the delay reverb section of my board, and it's going into the front of the Fender, and it sounds like this. Okay, so not perfect for me, but 100% usable. And if you do like using overdrive pedals, but you also like using amps with gain in them, this is a very, very easy way to be able to have your pedal board do both. I hope that helps somebody out there. That's it for now, you guys. Peace. Take it easy.